What is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown? We explore that next here on Four Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. Four Verts is an NFL and college football YouTube show where we bring you guys the latest news, my opinions, and analysis on everything surrounding the football world, both NFL and college football. So lock us in, subscribe. We bring you guys videos every single day. Is drama brewing in Philadelphia? That's what we're talking about here on Four Verts. Brandon Graham, 15-year Eagles veteran who's on IR and out for the season, had some pretty interesting words to say when it comes to A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts' relationship, which I found very, very interesting, especially considering how good the Eagles have been this year and as of late. I do want to back up a little bit and go to where this really started. Now, maybe it started weeks ago, but in terms of what we've heard publicly, A.J. Brown was asked after the game against the Carolina Panthers over the weekend, what's something you guys need to improve on? What's an area that the offense could take another step forward? And A.J. Brown said passing. And he kind of went on, just said the passing game. And, you know, that raised some eyebrows, like, oh, is he taking a jab at Jalen Hurts, Kellen Moore, Sirianni, you know, what's going on here? Then we kind of like, okay, well, you know, maybe he was just frustrated after the game, didn't get targets he wanted or something. Eagles won, no harm, no foul. Well, then Brandon Graham decides to go public with these comments. He said, quote, I know that one, talking about Jalen Hurts, number one, is trying. 11, A.J. Brown, could be a little better with how he responds to things. If he left it at that, I don't think it'd be a big deal. But then he said this. They were friends, but things have changed. A couple of thoughts here when it comes to Brandon Graham's comments there. Number one, the Philadelphia Eagles are 11-2 and absolutely rolling right now. They look like the top team to challenge the Detroit Lions in the NFC. It's been a great bounce back year after last year's late season collapse. Jalen Hurts has played better. Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio have been excellent hires to run the offense and defense. Some guys who had down years last year playing better this year. Jalen Hurts has bounced back. Like what? Why, even if there's some truth to this, why would this get public from a 15-year vet like Brandon Graham? Quite frankly, it's unacceptable. It really, really is. If I'm in that locker room, I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, BG, what are you doing to put that out there? Now, of course, this spread like a house fire, and he recanted. He said, I just assumed, talking about their friendship or lack thereof, and it made me out to look even worse because I had it all wrong, and now people are going to run with that part. Excuse me. Okay. One, you've been in the league for 15 years. You're supposed to be a leader. These type of behind closed conversations, should never get public. So the whole I had it all wrong, I don't really believe it. I think there's probably some truth to the friction there between Brown and Hurts. But if there is, keep that in-house. You're a good team right now. That stuff like that shouldn't leak. But B, let's just say he did have it all wrong. He's been on IR. Maybe he's missed some things recently, and he just had bad information. Why would you assume anything and go public with a negative storyline around your football team, especially in the midst of a really, really good season? Now, he said, I'm going to apologize to them both, yada, yada. If you're the Eagles, if I'm on that team, I'm freaking pissed. If I'm the Eagles fan, I'm pissed. I'm like, we're rolling right now. We finally haven't had drama in a while. Last year, the offseason was a train wreck. Sirianni, all this stuff. And this gets out. Like, how does this even happen? I mean, seriously. It's not like the Eagles are 5-8 or something, and it's just been a train wreck, and they're gonna they could fire their coach mid-season. It's like, no, we're red hot. We've won 9 games in a row, and our 15-year vet, a team captain caliber player, says, yeah, the quarterback and the receiver, they're not friends anymore. Like, what? How is that even a possibility? And I got to be honest, the first thought I had, other than what the hell is Brandon Graham doing, is it makes me question the ultimate leadership of this team. And that's Nick Sirianni, because what did we hear all of last year? He was losing grasp on the locker room. We saw that huge bombshell story in the offseason from ESPN that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni got to a point where they basically did not communicate unless they had to, and they had to mend that relationship this offseason. Like, Sirianni doesn't call the offense, he doesn't call the defense. He's supposed to be like this CEO culture guy, and yet in the midst of an 11-2 season, your 15-year vet goes public saying the quarterback and star receiver don't like each other. Like, what on earth is that? And Brandon Graham, I'm sorry, everyone's going to run with that part. Dude, you literally said they were friends and they no longer are. And you recanted like an hour later. Oh, I had it wrong, but my bad. Does anyone believe that? You are like supposed to be like the heartbeat of this team. Like, he's like the new Jason Kelce since Kelsey's not there anymore. Like, he's got the pulse of the locker room. So, I don't know, man. I just look at this and I'm like, you hope this doesn't set things back. This doesn't create even more friction than there potentially already was in that locker room. And, Sirianni, as great as this year has been, he probably needs to win a playoff game here and kind of calm the waters a little bit because, A, the Eagles' standard is sky high. B, they almost fired him after last year. And C, after this, if things go downhill, if they lose a couple games on the stretch, losing the wild card round, there's a chance they could make a change because it just seems like even when things are going well with the Philadelphia Eagles, there's always something. It just feels like there's always something going on in that locker room. And despite being winners of 9 in a row, despite being 11-2, despite feeling like an NFC Championship caliber team, perhaps even a Super Bowl contender, Brandon Graham, who's been with the Eagles for 15 years, somehow, I don't even want to say lets it slip, just feels comfortable going public with, yeah, like I know Jalen and AJ are trying. They could handle things better. They were friends. They aren't anymore. Like, what? That's something you should hear from a team who's collapsing, like the Bears or some other team that's lost a bunch of games in a row. The Browns, right? Their season just being a total shit show. So I don't know. I'd have some concern if I was an Eagles fan. Big game against Pittsburgh this week. Pittsburgh, I don't think that would leak. I think that'd be much more buttoned up under Mike Tomlin. So they better show up ready to play. I'll say this. If you're a gambler or a daily fantasy guy, take the more on A.J. Brown yards this week because I would guess Jalen Hurts is going to force feed him this week to try and just bury any narrative out there that exists that these two guys do not like each other. All right, that's going to do it for us here on For Verts. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. By the way, Belichick to North Carolina feels like that could happen at any point. If it does, we'll break that down here on the show as well. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys next time here on For Verts.